And some new reports this morning that the White House may be bracing for the possibility of the Republican health care plan failing to get out of Congress. Reports suggesting that if the measure doesn't pass, the president has said Republicans should simply let Obamacare fail on its own and then blame the Democrats. Juan Williams, Fox News political analyst and author of We the People. Mercedes Schlapp, former media spokeswoman for President George W. Bush, Fox News contributor. Mercedes, start with you. You've been in the White House when they're trying to push through, shall we say, controversial legislation. Is this the way to do it, to already be hedging your bets?
Well, I think that the way the Republicans are, the way the president's functioning is actually the right way in terms of making sure that he's listening to the concerns of conservatives. He's bringing in the Republicans as well to sell this plan. It's the only way to do it. Obviously, for the president, he runs into the other problem besides the conservatives of having the obstructionist party, the Democrats, who are not going to go in line with the president. So I think that it becomes challenging for the president, but this is the way the legislative process is going to work. It's going to be ugly. There's going to be amendments. But the Republicans need to push forward, and the president needs to be that leader in saying, we got to do this now. This is the time to deliver on the campaign promise.
You know, they talk about, you don't want to see how the sausage is made. This is like seeing how the spam is made, almost, as you watch this. But it's important to sort of see how the sales pitch is going. And Juan, this struck us, and you and I have talked about this before. Paul Ryan there yesterday at his green screen, you might say, or his television screen, doing his explainers through this, and the cable networks carried 23 minutes of this live. Compare this, Paul Ryan taking everyone through the bill, to Nancy Pelosi when Obamacare was just about to be passed.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it, away from the fog of the controversy.
So, is this sales approach by the Republicans with Paul Ryan coming out and taking everybody through this, playing Professor Ryan, if you will, the right approach?
Well, it would be the right approach. It actually resulted in a sort of a comic meme online with people putting different images into his blue screen so that he was like, Mr. Rogers taking us through the neighborhood. I think, by the way, that given the expedited treatment that we've seen Paul Ryan, the Speaker, and now Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, take with this bill, leads people to think, hey, this is a repeat of pass the bill, then we'll find out what's in it. But
well, I think Jim Jordan said as much, essentially.
Exactly. But I just wanted to make a larger point to come back to Mercedes on this thing about President Trump saying, well, if this doesn't pass, we'll just let it fail, let it explode, and blame it on the Democrats. I think that the Republicans have already, in so many ways, cut off advertising for people who would be new enrollees. They've cut subsidies for the insurance companies. I think they also will be held responsible, and especially by their voters who said, you promised us. You were going to repeal this bill, and you can't do it, apparently.
How big is the thud if this hits the ground, Mercedes? If the president is unable to ram this through Congress, when you have a Republican House, you have a Republican Senate, and the thing that he has said is a #1 priority his vice president has guaranteed will pass, how big is the thud if they fail?
As President Trump would say, it's huge. They cannot fail. This is the moment. The time is now. Their political capital is these first 100 days. If they do not pass this through, the American people, those who have voted in Republicans, they have been asking for repeal and replace since 2010. They need to deliver in this process. If they don't, they're going to pay the price in the midterm elections.
The thing is, if they do repeal without replace...
No, they have to do both. I'm saying both.
But even right now, with what we know about the replacement, I think especially, what strikes me, I'd be interested to hear what you say, Trump voters, a lot of them, older white people who live away from the cities, according to the analysis I've seen, would be hurt by this plan. So I just wonder if they think, we thought there was going to be a better plan that would fulfill the president's promises.
For the low-income individuals, and this is something that many of the Republican senators are bringing up, they're basically saying you need to make sure that the states have flexibility. They are asking for that Medicaid expansion, which is, a topic of controversy, I think, for conservatives. But this is where negotiations are going to take place, and we're going to see where it's going to fall. But it's going to be harder for them to pass it in the Senate than they will be able to pass it in the House right now.
The thing is, rushing it, I don't know.
You guys hardly needed me here for the conversation.
Oh, we love you, Leland.
This was awesome.
Look, we love you, Leland.
We appreciate that. All right. Happy weekend to both.
Thank you.
Safe travels back to D.C.